everybody to Deep Roots Games. It's Saturday night, and you know what that is. I'm here with the tribe. What's going on,
Hello.
Spike? What's going on, Highball?
Hello, my friends.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, so we're here for Name This Podcast, Episode 3. And the title today is Telltale Fail. So, if nobody has heard, Telltale Games has gone under, and there's a lot of shade going around with how they went under. So we're going to discuss that today. The first topic is, why do you think they failed and what they could have done to not fail? Because I think for the most part, people, if you didn't enjoy Telltale, you at least respected the stories they told. So, to lead us off today, Highball, do you want to lead the topic off? Tell us why Telltale you think failed and what they could have done to have hopefully bettered themselves.
Well, honestly, my thought on the matter is just I think they were one of those companies just like others that have existed and have gone extinct, that they were too good of a company to last forever. Like, for all the IPs and copyrights that they had, that they acquired all those years ago to make whatever story game they wanted, like, that's great and all, and it's impressive, but most of those IPs that they acquired, we only saw a fraction of those being produced out as products. And so I would say from that, they probably were trying to find their narrow niche of what IPs to use, what titles to make, and from everything that we've seen in the past, like, say, decade, from Walking Dead, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Game of Thrones, other Borderlands, other titles that really aren't that popular. Like, really, there were some titles in there. I'm sorry that I can't name them right now, but I went through the list like a couple of days ago, and there were titles in there I'm like, whoa, they did one of these games? Why? Because it wasn't that popular when it was on console or PC. And so, like, I would say it's a fickle market when you have so much copyrights to actually have to pick and choose which ones go out. And the fact that you own these copyrights, just because you own them, it still costs money to own them. And so I'd say I wouldn't say stupidly, but they weren't thinking right about probably paying off everything. And they just ran out of money.
What do you think?
It always comes down to the money.
Yeah, yes it does. What do you think they could have done to... do you think there's anything they could have done better, anything they could have done different, or what you would have liked to have seen out of them, game-wise?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Walking Dead, the TV series on AMC, plus the comic book that I never really kept up with, but I got pretty far in there. So when it came to the Telltale series, I was intrigued just the fact that it was going to be based on characters that are not in the comics or in the show. Ow, that hurt.
Sorry.
Like, I'm a huge fan of continuity and keeping a story precise for a long period of time if you're going to keep it going on for a long period of time. And so I always wanted to see characters from the Telltale game show up on the series. Not the other way around. Not the show characters show up on the Telltale series. I would have loved to seen Lee or Clementine show up on the show, even if it was just for one episode. And if anything, to keep the relevancy of the Telltale series going, then yeah, you'd piggyback the Telltale series on the AMC series. So that
would be
way
so
you have
hard to do.
characters. Yeah, it would be hard to do. But studios and franchises have done that before in the past, TV, movies, and and the AMC. That's a whole nother conversation what goes on over there with Walking Dead, because we've known for years, we've heard things about money problems, contract problems, and blah, blah. But in my mind, that's what I think would work, because you would keep the relevancy of the Telltale series and TV series going, and you would keep intrigue from both mediums, and so people would buy the games to understand the characters who show up on the show, and then they watch the show to see the characters that they get to know in the game.
So, I don't know if you guys ever watched it or remember it, but there was a show that did a game tie-in, and show characters would turn up in the game characters would turn up in the show. I loved it. Yes, Defiance. I personally loved it. I thought the show was great. The game was okay, but watching the show, to me, made the game better. Because I knew the characters, I knew they had their own little slang, even though it was retarded. I was like, oh, I know what they're saying. But yeah, no, dude, oh man, that would have been great. That would have probably would have kept me into the show, because I'm like 4 seasons behind and don't give a shit at this point. And it possibly would have kept me playing the game. I played the first season, but after that, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like Defiance, I watched that for the minute that I cared about it. Never played the game, but I like the idea that though it wasn't a great show, it was great to see, like, hey, this is game changing, no pun intended, that a TV show and video game series is actually connecting itself to each other.
Dude.
But we all saw how that turned out. It didn't last because they just couldn't get the fundamentals corrected.
Highball, I suggest we all download the Defiance free game.
I know.
And just play it just one day. Oh my god, it's going to be hilarious. Because apparently they haven't changed shit in the game. They just redid some of the graphics and not very well, and that was it. Spike, let's hear it.
Did you know they put Glenn in one of the Telltale Walking Dead games?
Well, yeah, it was in the first season. I think it was episode 1 or 2, and Glenn shows up for like 5 minutes, and then he's gone. I think it was even less than that. And he just comes in and he's out.
Cameo.
So, cameos like that, they count in my opinion, to be like, ooh, look at that. But I would say to bring a character from the game over to the show, they need to be on the show longer than that. Like, at least half of a season, you know.
Alright, so the question is, why did Telltale fail, huh?
Yes, sir.
Alright, well...
Thank you. Can I have another?
Let me put it this way to you.
I think I need one in the back of the head.
No, stop it. Did you know that Telltale put out a Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Yes. My old lady played it and she liked it. She said it was good.
Oh, she's like one of maybe 100 people who actually knew about it and played it, because that game came out and like got no marketing. I mean, for such a expensive probably IP, to not actually have the money to market that game. I mean, it's like they went into a candy store and said, I want some of that and that and that and that and that and filled their bag up with so much different candy that they didn't really have a way of...
Wait, are you implying that the candy are the video games in question?
Yes. My metaphor has come through. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, how do you buy that much IP? Basically, they didn't own anything, if you think about it. The only thing they owned was their shitty engine. Yeah.
10-year-old engine.
Yeah, that was bad. It didn't work. So really, they're worth nothing. I mean, all they have is basically nothing. And I mean, the games weren't that good. I mean, I played Walking Dead season 1 and 2, and I think maybe 3. Are we on 3?
Yeah, it's on 3.
Then I played 1 and 2. And they were okay, but I also tried like Tales of the Borderland, and it didn't really do it for me. I tried
Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, no, I tried wasn't there a Batman one or some bullshit, or
Yep, there was that one.
there was so many, like
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
I guess they figured what they.
Game of Thrones had a pretty good first breakout response, but then it dwindled because people wanted the episodes now, and they just didn't want to wait.
I mean, I guess they thought they had a choose your own adventure, interactive storybook, and they thought that was enough. And I think, yeah, just too much, spread too thin, and I know what it's all the problem of the upper management. I feel bad for all the developers because all those decisions weren't made by them, you know. So it's all about the suits, and those are the guys that are probably running away with the money. You know, whatever money was left.
Yeah, not paying the employees the severance they're supposed to pay them legally by U.S. law.
So, I mean, it's just all around shitty. I mean, you want to hear a funny story? Can I tell a little anecdote? Is there time in the podcast for this?
Yes, there's always time.
All right, I might have mentioned this to you yesterday, but I follow this game on PC called Stranded Deep.
Oh, time's up. You gotta move on.
All right, let me. Sorry.
No, keep going.
I put my spear down. So yeah, Stranded Deep, right? It's a PC game. It's like a survival game, and it's pretty cool. And they put on Twitter 2 days before it all went down, hey, we're so happy and excited that our games get imported to console. Telltale Publishing is doing it, and we just can't wait. It's so awesome. And then 2 days later, they post the next tweet. It says, we don't know what the hell is happening. I guess we're not gonna do it. And then the third tweet comes out and says, still haven't heard from Telltale. We've reached out to them a million times and they haven't gotten back to us, so we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, think about it. That's like your livelihood, your game. These are the people who are gonna how to describe it? I guess kind of take your thing and move it, almost like a boss, I guess. And they just ghosted on them. And I mean, I know Roots has mentioned something about, oh, you gotta sue him, you gotta get legal involved. I mean, obviously there's lots of contracts and stuff, but I mean, just that aside, it's just so depressing. They did that. They did that to a lot of people, man. Everybody who they were publishing for, they just left out in the lurch.
Now, what's interesting about what you just brought up there was the fact that I noted something, I think it was yesterday or maybe 2 days ago, that I mentioned to you guys, but we stopped because we didn't want to get into it then. But prior to them closing, it's a damn shame, by the way, that Telltale's gone, because Telltale had been around since 1997. That had been a constant in the video game world. And even though they didn't put out great stuff all the time, still, that was a constant. So it's a damn shame anyways. But according to Variety came out the other day with some insight into the matter of what happened. And let me just read this real fast. Telltale Games' sudden catastrophic laying off of nearly all of its 274 employees with no notice, no severance, and barely a week's worth of health care came just a day after two potential investors walked away from potential funding talks on Thursday, sources tell Variety. Both AMC and Smilegate were in discussions to invest in Telltale Games, a deal that management had been working on to essentially save the company. On Thursday, Telltale held a meeting to tell its employees that negotiations with AMC were going well and that management expected confirmation of funding within a few weeks. One employee said it was painted as a done deal. But on Thursday afternoon, one of the two companies backed out. The other company exited negotiations Thursday night. It's not known why both companies decided to back away from financing the deal on the same day. Lionsgate 2 decided to write off the funding it had already invested in Telltale. It's unclear whether Smilegate, a massive Korean developer of online and mobile games, or AMC, with a stable of massive original properties, were hoping to have Telltale work on new games with them or simply wanted to invest funding. While AMC retains the rights to the Walking Dead television shows and can license games based on it, Telltale's popular Walking Dead games had all been based on Robert Kirkman's comic books through an unrelated deal made with Kirkman's Skybound Games. AMC does have two mobile games based on the Walking Dead television show and has shown an interest in expanding its investments in gaming. AMC declined to comment when reached for comment, Both companies backing out Thursday led to the essential closure of Telltale the next day. Friday afternoon, the company held a meeting to tell out all but 24 of its employees that they were being let go effective immediately. They were issued paper paychecks for compensation through Friday and told they had to vacate the building in 30 minutes. Email was shut down immediately. Employees were given no severance and health care runs out at the end of the month. Everyone in attendance was encouraged to apply for unemployment by the end of the day. Telltale Games had reportedly been going through internal turmoil with employee complaints of a toxic work environment, long hours, and confused management. Many employees inside the company were aware the studio had major financial trouble as well, and that it could close one day, but the worst that was expected in the immediate future was another round of layoffs. The remaining staff at Telltale are working to finish up the port of Minecraft Story Mode for Netflix, and the company has said it is courting potential partners to get the remaining 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, the final season, completed and published. Telltale already released the first 2 episodes of the game to fans, some of whom had prepaid for the entire season. On Monday, a former employee filed a lawsuit on behalf of all those let go last week against Telltale Games, saying the company violated state and federal labor laws with the mass layoff because it didn't give proper notice. Co-founder and former CEO Kevin Bruner, who sued Telltale Games seeking financial damages over the summer, told Variety Tuesday that he is still shocked over the sudden closure. I'm going to stop reading right there because it keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, they really... It's a sad space because, unfortunately, more than likely, the people at the top are safe. And all the people who got let go and said, hey, no severance, they're going to be left with nothing. They're going to be left with nothing but their bags in their hands. No paychecks. No money. Yeah, they just... I didn't like the way that went. If they knew something was going on, they should have forewarned their employees, unfortunately. And when the end result of closing a company isn't going to leave you high and dry, then talking to the people below you who it's going to leave high and dry is an afterthought. Well, unfortunately, I think where they went wrong, I agree with Spike. They put their hands on way too many pieces of candy, and when it came time to pay at the register, they couldn't afford it all. I mean, if you think about it, how many of their games do you think were really, really successful? The Walking Dead. That's about it.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's an actual stat. Like, the only one that actually made money was The Walking Dead.
And as Spike said, I tried to play The Walking Dead. I tried to play The Wolf Among Us, which was the most intriguing of the group, if you ask me. I tried Game of Thrones. I tried Tales of the Borderlands. I just... the engine seemed outdated. I would rather play a walking simulator, and to be honest with you, I think that was a step below a walking simulator. Now, if Telltale would have just came out with animated shorts, I would have rather paid for that than have to play through their games. Which leads me to what I think they could have done better. Number one, limit yourself more. Don't, they say not to put all your eggs in one basket, but I don't think you can put all your eggs in every fucking basket you see either, Make some original content. Once you did that first successful Walking Dead game, people are looking at you and saying, they can make a game. So if you would have made your own original stories and content, people would have looked at you and said, they made that Walking Dead game, I'll try that. And for 2, they really need to either update the game or the engine to where it was more than what it was, because it was a walking simulator. If that, not even. It was a simulator if you ask me. And I just, not for me as a gamer. Like I said, if they would have showed me some snippets and made it an animated short, I would have been like, damn, that's kind of cool. I might think about buying that. Or make stories and license them to Netflix, which is what I think they're doing with a Minecraft video anyways. So, which is the only thing that they actually have to complete. Nobody knows why they're choosing to, but everybody's thinking they're contractually obligated to complete it. So,
What about all those people who bought season 3 for The Walking Dead and aren't going to get their full thing in?
well,
Did they get refunds?
Well, I'm assuming no. I'm assuming if they filed for bankruptcy, then they're screwed, which should go to show people that you don't fucking pre-order games. Don't pre-order games. Don't pre-order game. Don't pre-order DLC. And I've been guilty of that, but here goes a perfect example. Don't pre-order DLC. And that's essentially what everybody did. I once had a gym membership, and I got billed for the next month. One day later, the gym shut down. When I went to go get a refund, they said they were not giving refunds. I asked my bank to take back the charge, and they took it back until they called the gym. And when the gym told my bank they weren't giving refunds, they rebilled me for the month of gym membership that I never got.
Damn, that sucks.
So in the end, again, the little guy gets the screw, and the hardest screw of them all. And the people up at top are who have this golden parachute get to glide their way to the bottom and then jump to the helm of another company eventually, because that's how it always works in the end. You make a failing company, you jump out of the plane with a parachute when everyone else gets pushed out with nothing, only to get back on the front of another frickin' plane with another parachute. What they could have done better, got rid of the people at the top that were messing up the company and making the bad decisions. But that being said, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to this topic.
I mean, I kind of do. With Telltale, I'll put it this way, I won't miss their games, right? Like, I know everyone's like, oh, boo-hoo, they're going. Like, to be honest, I won't miss them. But I do miss the fact that they were trying to fill a niche that isn't there anymore. So we all know that AA games are kind of gone, right? We have indies and we have AAAs.
Yeah.
They were trying to publish games that could kind of fit into that AA space by porting a lot of things from PC and stuff.
Yep.
And I kind of feel like that someone else, now that they're gone, needs to jump in and fill that void.
Oh, Ninja Theory.
Yeah, I mean, just take these, PC games and people who just can't get into console space because it's so much money. I heard something like it costs $10,000 to do an update on a PS4. I don't know if that's right.
Xbox and PlayStation charged companies out of the ass, and they charge them regardless of whether they actually approve the update or not. That's why the companies are so, like, PC, they can update it on the fly. PS4 and Xbox, the companies are hesitant because they don't want to update it and have to turn around and update it a week later and get charged that insane amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, if I go to make a game, let's say just, I have this great idea, I have competent friends, boom, we make a game, we try to get it on console, but we cannot front 10 grand to, like, patch it and stuff. I mean, we'd have to find some publisher. So I just hope, that another person can fill in the Telltale role of doing that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping too, is like the fact that so many of those employees, some of those have actually been picked up by other studios, like Ubisoft and Santa Monica actually hired almost about 100 of them. And so, like, that's good on them, but I'm kind of, like, personally, I'm kind of hoping, like, realistically, they're probably not ever going to, but I'm personally hoping, like, hey, you worked at Telltale, give us some insight of how we could do that. And then they would keep, one of those studios would keep that kind of game dynamic going. It'd be even better, especially if it's Ubisoft. Like, come on. Here's what I think that was missing out of all their Telltale games. I played Tale of Borderlands, like, for 10 minutes, didn't like it. I played Walking Dead Season 1, some of Season 2. but I just couldn't get back to it. Game of Thrones, I didn't play it, but I watched someone play it, and it looked pretty good. The Wolf Among Us, I don't know. But, like, here's what I think they should have added to all those games. Because, like Roots put it, it's a walking simulator. All you do is point your character in the direction to go, and then interact with the door, interact with the microwave, interact with the table, interact with the lamp. That's it, and then you watch cinematics. And that's not a terrible thing, but if there's more interactivity to it, I think that could have kept people more, interested. Here's what I think they should have done. They should have added mini games in the games. Like, imagine Walking Dead, and you're Clementine strolling through the woods trying to take a walker out one by one, and then she comes across a whole bunch of walkers. Well, she's got to go set up a trap to draw their attention and to cut them off so they don't get in the way, and turn that into a little mini game that she has to pull this over there and do a little like puzzle mechanics that puts together the trap. I think if they would have implemented puzzles and mini games into that would have made it more exciting for people to play.
I agree. I think that idea would have made it a little bit better, because when I was playing through The Wolf Among Us, Tales of the Borderlands, and Walking Dead, I felt that. I was like, man, I click something every 30 minutes. What the fuck? If they would have made it to where you drag stuff around and, I got to solve this, and not just find something to click and it's over, yeah, I could have seen that going somewhere. But again,
I just got done playing Marvel Spider-Man on PS4, and let me tell you, that game brought back mini games, and those mini games were dope. I love them. They were a great part of the game. I feel like they're a great part of me now. Like, they were just fun. And if you would implement that the right way for those kind of games, I think people wouldn't really look at it and go, oh, this is so boring. No, you need something to keep your brain going, Because I did it. I found myself doing that with some of the Walking Dead episodes. I'm just playing. I'm like, okay, can I get the cinematic now? Okay, can I get the cinematic now? Oh, okay, I got to shoot this thing? Well, the game doesn't make it easy to shoot it. Oh, my God. Like if you just make it more interactive, I think it'd be more appealing to players.
True that. Well, if anybody's in the chat, we definitely want you guys to tell us what your thoughts are. We want to know what you think. So chat it out. We'll read it. We'll talk about it. You can be involved and also follow Deep Roots Games. We do gaming all week long, and then we throw a podcast once a week together just to kind of have a little bit of fun and chat it out. We're going to move on to the second topic, gentlemen.
Yes. Follow us. Click the follow. Click the follow. We are on the slow crawl, the hard crawl to affiliate. So give us a follow, and we will get there with your support. Wouldn't you rather see it say, this ad supports Deep Roots Games, than this ad supports Twitch? So give us a follow. Give us a chance, everybody.
Stop pincushioning me. You keep throwing spears in my face.
Oh, man. Look at this guy. Looks like you got a spear nose now.
All right. Would you like to go next, Tyball, or shall I jump in?
I think my topic actually would be pretty good to end with, because it has a little peek at the end of it.
Okay.
Like you have on your face.
Oh, rude. So I know. Don't body shame me. This is my new character.
Oh boy.
If anybody's watching the stream right now, tell us in the chat, how do you feel about Spike's model right now?
You guys are just jealous.
It was hilarious to log on and see this thing, our friend.
So anyway, yeah, in case you watched our other two videos, we're no longer in the private server. So if you donate,
I'm poor. I'm sorry.
Donate to Deep Roots Games, we might be able to get our server back. But so anyway, guys, I've been kicking around what I wanted to talk about all week long, and I kept going back and forth. And guess what? I'm gonna surprise it on you and change it on you guys again. My topic is going to be
why I'm poor.
No. It's gonna be about the baby consoles, the little minis that are all coming out,
Oh, jeez, the classics.
and specifically the most recent
Classic.
one, the PS1 classic,
Uppercut.
classic, little tiny baby PS1. So I guess I kind of wanted to talk about the idea of, do you think they're cool? Would you buy one? Like, what games do you think should be on
Oh,
it?
can I start it? Can I start it, Spike? Can I start it?
So I guess,
Okay.
are we talking about the PS1?
I'm going to talk about all of them.
Okay.
So, first, I would like to present you guys with something. Let's see if is there an emote for it. There is not an emote for it, but just imagine my middle finger stuck up right there.
Okay.
That's what I think
All right.
about it. So we're in an age where a subscription model is good for companies, and there are some things where I think that is
Like the virtual consoles?
yeah, I think
And
that is
the
amazing.
Game Passes and the PS Pluses.
So my problem is, I would rather see them.
Wait. Hold on, pause. I'm sorry. PS Vita, by the way, is no longer a thing. They're actually stopping
Yeah.
production on them.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
yeah, we know
I
that.
heard.
Okay, just making sure.
So my issue is that they keep reselling and reselling and reselling, and we talked about this on the last podcast about, well, if people are going to keep buying it, and I get it, if people are going to keep buying it, keep selling it, but I would rather it be a part of my PlayStation membership. And I would be okay with it going up a couple dollars a year if it would stay a part. If I could have access to PlayStation's whole library for an extra $5 or $10 a year, I would be okay with that. What I'm not okay
Everybody
with
would.
is them trying to sell me a new console for $200 that's a Raspberry Pi that costs $15, and then trying to sell me, when they do try and sell games for them, sell them at $20, $30 a pop for something that's 10, 20, 30 years old. Nintendo's the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? They're the worst when it comes to this. And especially with their Nintendo Online subscription, it's awful. But again, I would rather see them add that to my subscription. Add it to my subscription. Add value to my subscription. Increase the price. It's okay, because when you show me your back catalog of games that I could just click and play, that's amazing. Imagine hanging out at a friend's place. You guys are having some drinks and chilling. Dude, remember that game so-and-so, Crash Bandicoot Racing? Bro, I got it right here. Let's fire it up. That'd be amazing. But instead, you got to have this extra little mini console, and then they want you to pay $200 for it. I would rather pay... It's almost like, to me, it's almost like getting an iPhone.
Yeah.
I would rather, because nobody pays for iPhones up front, and if you do, then please support our channel and donate at Deep Roots Games. But I would rather pay that over the course of a couple years, give them the money back, because I found value in their games via a subscription and not selling me the games over and over and over and over and over and over. I just hate that.
Yep.
I hate that. I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, just if they would do it that way. And the same thing goes, something, even though Blizzard, since they've been with Activision, has been a little bit of a downfall to me. Blizzard actually goes back to their old games and updates them for free. They don't charge you for an HD version. They don't charge you for some crazy, oh my God, hey guys, look, we're coming out with the Super HD 4K. No, they'll update it and say, hey, here you go. Here's some. We updated the graphics, a little bit of a refresh. I know it's been a couple years since we threw an update out, and the game's 12 years old, but they value their relationship with their customers. Yeah, they sell microtransactions via Overwatch, and they're affiliated with Activision, who sells loot crates in Call of Duty, which is a full-price game, amongst other shitty things they do. But in the end, at some point, you have to value your relationship with your customers, which is a whole nother story for Sony as far as the cross-platform and everything goes. But yes, I would like to see it as part of my subscription. And on top of that, too, I think it would make some people like myself, like, let's say I want to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. Well, PlayStation subscription's a little bit more expensive, but they got this huge back catalog. And I think that would make all their first-party titles that we're ranting and raving about now, The Last of Us, Spider-Man, all these games, in 10 years, if they include, like if there's a certain stopgap in the game, okay, the game's 5 years old, the game's 8 years old, it's going into the back catalog, now it's a part of the subscription. So 10, 15 years from now, someone's going to be like, oh man, you remember The Last of Us? That game was revolutionary. Oh man, they also had Spider-Man that year and the rebooted God of War. Dude, I think I'm buying a PlayStation this generation and I'm getting their subscription. So I think that would add value to their... wait, hold on. Just let me... I'm almost
Rumor
finished.
has it that Last of Us 2 comes out next year.
That ain't happening. I'll believe it when I see it.
Maybe.
No, I think
2020.
I really think they're not thinking long game, they're thinking short game, or maybe they don't have the vision. But I think overall, over the next 20, 30 years, adding it to a subscription plan, increasing the price just a little bit, would further distance them from their competition. The end.
So I'm slightly of a different opinion on some of that. Like,
I know you like you like your hard copies.
I do. Like, I'm not a digital guy, but like, so obviously what you're talking about with the idea of backward, compatibility and not reselling and stuff is makes sense, and that should be like that. But when it comes to the little mini baby consoles, right? I think it's a cool idea. I mean, this is something that's a packaged thing that someone could buy who's nostalgic, who isn't necessarily, maybe into games, like they don't have everything. Like, for instance, the argument I get a lot is, oh, you're gonna buy that? Just get a Raspberry Pi and get a bunch of emulators. It's like,
yeah,
dude,
that's a lot of work, though.
Yeah, not everybody's a computer programmer, okay? I mean, so, like, I think it's cool that they did it. And I think it's cool that it's out there, but I don't think it should be the sole. So I kind of agree with you that they should have what you're talking about, but also have this. Options are always good.
Yeah.
So if you had the option to just buy this little mini thing for $100, or go out and, through a subscription, download one at a time or whatever you want to do, have that there as well. But I like the little mini consoles. I think they're fun and everything. I mean, I don't have one, but when the NES one was coming out, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to buy that as a gift for my nephew for Christmas. Of course, I couldn't fucking find one, but they sold out
You didn't
everywhere.
think about your nephew. You were just thinking about, I want one.
No, but I mean, it's cool, like, because then you could give it to somebody and they would have like this old, all these old games and so I think that the fact that it actually happened, that they created these little things, like, what do they have now? They have the mini NES, the mini Super Nintendo, the mini.
They're apparently doing a 64.
64.
Yeah. 64
I
is
assume Atari's trying to jump in too. I heard, right?
Yes.
Atari's going to do something.
Oh, Atari already did it.
Yeah, but like a legitimized, like, Atari one, I think, right?
Well,
And yeah, I think it's cool, but like I said, backwards compatibility in the future just needs to be a thing. Like, I'm totally with Deep Roots here. Make it part of our subscription models. Like, stop strangling, us to the current generation, and give us options. But yeah, I think it's cool how little they look. I think when you see the picture of the big one and the little one next to each other, I would think that's funny.
I think my problem is I'm just disgruntled at them making remasters of every game that's ever been halfway successful.
Yeah. It's especially infuriating when they remaster a game that's not that old.
Yeah, it came out 3 years ago, but here's the Super HD Remaster Classic.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Yeah, you know what that should have been? It should have been called an update.
Yeah, pretty much.
well,
what do you
let
think,
me
Highball?
chime in.
You gonna buy
Let
one?
me chime in here because I gotta say where you were going Spike, I totally agree with you. Is that I think they're a genius bit of fun because the nostalgia is still in there, and the fact that if you both look at your phone right now, you'll see that there's something in there to tell you why I feel this way. And after that, if you look underneath your chairs,
no,
you get one. You get one. I love how Roots went quiet. He actually looked under his chair.
Hey, I looked under my actual couch. I thought there was something there.
But I actually own the Atari one, and I have played it quite a few times.
I don't know if is that a legit Atari or is that just like a knockoff?
It's Atari Flashback 8, made by Atari.
Okay. I just didn't know that was like a real thing.
It's a legitimate one, and I've had some great time with it. Like when I don't feel like playing the modern day high mind that is PlayStation console games or play Fortnite or things like that, I've gone to this and been like, you know what? I'm going to play something that doesn't cause me stress. I'm going to play something that can bring me back to when I was a kid, and all I had to worry about is whether the TV stayed on. like the Atari console I have, it is super small. It's so small it's convenient that you can just take it wherever you want. And it comes with the joysticks. They're smaller too, but it's still the feel is still there. And the great thing about this Atari Flashback 8 is the fact that it comes with over 105 games already installed on it. And 105 games can keep me busy all the time. And some of the titles in here.
Games, though.
No, not actually. No, they're not. To you maybe, but we've had conversations about.
Not all of them are good. 100 games, you're not gonna have 100 good games.
But you have hits or misses. How else is a company supposed to succeed unless they learn from failure?
That's fine. All I'm saying is you admit that there's some bad ones in there.
Yeah, well, the bad ones I'm admitting to are the ones I really don't know. But they got Kaboom, River Raid, Space Invaders, Centipede, Frogger.
Yeah,
those alone, yes, Pitfall's in here. Pitfall's a great one.
Well, I was gonna say it's not like the PlayStation has all hits on it, and it's only got 20-something games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which,
it's got
which
Jungle
PS1
Hunt.
game would you put in the baby console?
Oh my God! Oh.
Can you guys even remember the PS1 back then?
I mean, Crash Bandicoot's a must. That was probably the only time anybody thought a character from another console outside of Sonic would have challenged Mario for the throne as a console's frontrunner.
Ooh, I got a great one because I remember when I got my first PlayStation, my mother got it for me when we lived back in Minnesota, and I wanted one for so long, and she went to the pawn shop one day and got me a used one. And I came home from school, and there it was in the living room already hooked up, and I just almost died as a child because I was like, oh.
Tony Hawk.
And
that's what I was gonna say.
The three games that she got with it, which I was actually surprised because I was like, she would never get me this game, but she did. She got Tony Hawk.
Nice.
She got Tony Hawk. Was it Tony Hawk Pro Skater or was it just Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. 1 and 2,
I think, were on the
PS1.
It was the first one. I know that. I remember. I adore the fact.
Number 2 is the best.
The graphics were so shitty, but I loved it so much. And honestly, for a kid that at my age back then, back in the late '90s, that listened to grunge, that was one of the best video game soundtracks ever. And so the second game,
Dave Mirra BMX had the best soundtrack ever.
Yeah, man, that was classic.
The second one, I remember what the third one was because that was the best one. But the second one, I want to say it was SmackDown.
Okay.
WWF SmackDown.
Wrestling.
Because I was watching wrestling at the time. But then the third one, that's what almost gave me a stroke at 14 years old. She got me Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. and I was like, oh!
Nice.
And I will never forget that game because Nemesis is not a forgettable character in that game. But, like, I would say that. Like, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I would want if they had a showcase of PlayStation 1 titles.
I thought they were remaking that.
I heard that a long time ago, and I haven't heard anything.
They're always
about
remaking something.
Like, the fact that they just remade Resident Evil 2, like, I guess that would mean Resident Evil 3 is down the road. But
Well, you guys know what PS1 game that I'd want on there.
Paperboy?
Haha.
That's an idiot. No. Metal Gear Solid.
Solid, like my shits.
I
mean,
wouldn't
I
mind
own a
seeing
physical
that.
copy that I could still pop in because I own a PS2 that I could still run it. But yeah, that's the one I would definitely want on there. That and Tony Hawk 2.
Tony Hawk, baby.
What about you, Roots? What game do you need on the PS1 Classic?
I would have definitely said Tony Hawk 1 or 2. See, 1, I think when you first saw it, it was so mind-blowing. But 2 was definitely the most refined. And then after that, they just started getting ridiculous. I'd probably go with
game?
Well, it depends. Yeah, I get why you would say 2, because if I could go back in time to when I first played it, it would have been 1. But if it's something that I'm revisiting, then yeah, Tony Hawk 2.
Did you guys know Grand Theft Auto 1 was on the PS1?
Uh-huh.
It's so hard to remember that.
I never played that one.
Even though I played it on the PC, I also played it a little bit on the PS1, and I would also add that to my list. What else? To be honest with you, the third one. Oh, man. What would be my third one? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's hard to like think that far back and like the PS2.
Snowboarding.
Oh, wait. Wasn't 1080 on the PS1?
Yeah. It
Yes. Oh, either that or
I
what
own
was
that,
that
yeah.
snowmobile game?
Well, I think SSX is this. Oh no, the snowmobile. Yeah, I don't know what that one was.
Either that. No, I would take. Yeah, I would take. Where was 1080 on the 64?
No.
I don't know, but Final Fantasy 7 and 8 I would like on the mini console.
Yeah, Final
Wait.
Fantasy 7 was.
I
on
figured it
PlayStation.
out. The snowmobile game
So
was
was
on the
8 and 9.
PS1. 1080 snowboarding was on the N64. I would take. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was so cool. And I remember you could do tricks, and I remember Rob Zombie's Dragula was on the soundtrack. Yeah. Oh man, that's a classic. Oh, or Soul Calibur. I would take me some Soul
good
Calibur.
choice.
That's right. Soul Calibur was on the first PlayStation. Why
Yes, and it was
forgot about
fucking
that.
amazing.
Wow. Wait, what about 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue?
Oh my god. No, what about Parappa the Rapper?
I never got into it, surprisingly.
Oh, Ace Combat was on PlayStation.
Oh, what was that Mech Warrior game too? Oh
Yep,
shit.
Mech Warrior.
Dude, there was tons of classics on there. Now that it's starting to come back now.
Oh, the actual
classics.
ice hockey. Actual ice hockey.
Oh wait, what was that dinosaur game? Was it Dino Crisis?
Dino Crisis?
What?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
that shit was crazy. Man, there was some classics on there, man. Oh wow.
The only downside to the PlayStation baby console is it costs way more than the little baby NES ones. I think it was. Isn't the new? I think it's like 120 or something stupid.
I'm sorry,
it's
but
way
the
more
max
expensive.
should be $100. Period. Unless
Oh,
you're
yeah.
putting, unless
Or
they
less,
were
like,
gonna,
Yeah, because
75.
so the Atari and the PlayStation ones cost the same, and I got mine for like 110.
Yeah, I mean, like the NES ones, I think were like what 60 or were they 60 or 80? I think
thought
they were
all the
60,
same
but
price.
an extra controller was like another $10, I think.
Oh yeah, Dino Crisis 2.
bro, Dino Crisis was crazy. I remember playing that, getting freaked out. I love dinosaurs, but they're trying to kill me. Oh my god! And that was around the time the Jurassic Park came out.
Digimon World was on PlayStation. That was my jam.
Maybe a Phantasy Star game. Oh, dude, yes. Oh man.
All right, anybody in the chat before we move on?
Twisted Metal.
Anybody want to tell us what your
Dude, Twisted Metal. Twisted
would
Metal
be?
2.
Yeah.
Oh, Twisted Metal 2 and 3. Oh man, Twisted Metal.
See, okay, this is a tangent, but in my entire life, I've always wondered. 2 PlayStation titles that came out with the first PlayStation, Metal Gear Solid and Twisted Metal. They did all these crossover and combo titles with other games. Why didn't they ever do a Twisted Metal Gear Solid, to where it was Twisted Metal with Metal Gear Solid characters? Like,
that would be weird.
it would be weird. But back
I don't know.
then, things were all weird.
Yeah. Plus, it was lockdown. Konami had that on stranglehold. They weren't gonna do
Dance
anything.
Dance
like that.
Revolution was on PlayStation 1. What?
All right, so
Lots of classics.
That's
once
crazy.
again, anybody in the chat, please go ahead and join the conversation. We want to hear what you guys think. We're going to move on to the third topic, but if you are enjoying this, please follow Deep Roots Games. We do games all week long, and we do a podcast on the weekend. We'd appreciate any kind of support from you guys.
Keep us alive. Hit follow.
Yes. Third topic.
With every follow we gain, 1 breath of air will pass through our lungs.
Keep us breathing.
We're trying. We're starting from the bottom. You see how we're streaming. We just want to bring some content to everybody, have a good time, and just share our opinions with everyone. Building a community, building a tribe.
Oh, a tribe. I like that.
Tribe unity.
Wait.
right, what we got?
Wait. One thing before we segue. I have one question for you guys. Did you guys play?
Bring it.
No, 2 questions. Did you play Dino Crisis on the PS1?
No.
Negative.
I'm crushed.
But I feel like I should have.
Yeah.
I
feel
same
like I
here.
need to buy a baby
saw
console
Fred
just for
playing
that.
it. I never played it though.
Deep Roots is giving an official Deep Roots ranking.
Oh, you heard it here, folks.
2 Dino Crisis 1, and we're giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, the only reason I don't give it a higher score is because at the time those style of horror type jumping scary games were saturated in the market, especially with Resident Evil leading the forefront, but Dino Crisis brought a new dimension. Dinosaurs, suck it. 8.5 out of 10. That's a Roots ranking. If you ever get your hands on it, play it.
Dick!
Segue!
Roots ranking 8.5.
Write it down.
Got
Segue.
Eyeball. What you
Man,
bring
Ruth,
them
you
to the
look like you
table?
sure got excited talking about that, man.
I did. I love Dino Crisis, dude. And I wasn't
Don't look
into
down.
I was not into those style of, oh my god, oh, it's bleeding. I was not into those style of games, surprisingly. I wasn't into Resident Evil and stuff. I liked a lot of fighting and sports games, and so to me, for that game to lure me in like that means it had to really be special. Dinosaurs.
Nice.
Arc.
Right? I love dinosaurs.
All right, Pickles, it's your turn. Share your topic with us, man.
All right, I guess we are ending tonight's podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I guess we're ending with tonight's podcast with my topic. It is September, as of right now, September 29th. As of tomorrow, we will have
2018.
exactly 12 days until the release of Call of Duty 4 Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I know I'm not the only one who's excited about this, because my boy Roots here, he's been talking about it for quite some time now, and he actually brought it up with me a couple weeks ago, and it's been sitting in my brain for like the past couple of days, and I started doing my research and finding out everything I can about this game like I would if I was planning on getting one. And goodness gracious me, oh my good lord, have mercy, this game looks beast. It looks like it's going to either win Game of the Year, which I think will automatically go to Spider-Man, but if not, it's going to be Black Ops 4. But Black Ops 4, bringing back its infamous, notorious, amazing multiplayer mode with everything that you would expect: team deathmatch, demolition, search and destroy, all of it. And then they're bringing back zombies, which
Zomboys
us three here, long before the name this podcast ever existed, way back in the day in a galaxy far, far away. These three blokes right here, we did zombies up. We made zombies our bitch. And we ruled all of zombies. Kids. And, like, yes, part of my language.
Demonetized.
But like, with Black Ops 4 coming out, like, and now they introduced this is the grand coup de grace that they have coming with their first ever Battle Royal mode, Blackout. I've seen the gameplay footage. I've seen footage of the beta, and yes, betas all have bugs. That work. It's one of a beta, but my goodness, like I don't see where Battle Royale gaming can go unless they make the maps bigger. But this map is huge.
1,000 player Battle Royale.
Like I am totally going to get it once I'm capable of doing so, which will be sooner rather than later, hopefully. But that is totally on my early Christmas wish list for myself. And I know, Roots, you're going to get it when eventually you can. And Spike, I know you're
currently broke as fuck.
But, like, with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 coming out, guys, Roots and Spike, and anybody in the chat, please, if you have anything to say about our topics tonight, and right now we're talking about Black Ops 4, what are you expecting to gain the most out of Black Ops
4? Well, first of all, I gotta say, rest in peace, campaign. You'll be missed.
Press F to pay respects.
That is what had to go to bring all this magnificence to come. This will be the first ever installment in Call of Duty franchise to not consist of a campaign. And yet it is jarring, but they got to do what they got to do to keep their head above water right now. The last few Call of Duty games campaigns have been nothing to talk about.
I wish they wouldn't annualize it, because to me that kills the longevity the game could have. I would rather. Was it Advanced Warfare?
Infinite Warfare? That came out 2 years ago.
No, Advance.
Then I heard nothing about that.
Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, there's a Call of Duty every year. They got 3 studios rotating. So
their marketing must be really bad, because I haven't seen anything. Since Infinite Warfare.
So granted, it's not the same studio overturning the same shit, but it's still 3 studios turning it over, and it's nice that it's different studios, so it gives them time to work on it. But on the same time, I don't really. It's like buying Madden every year. I love Madden. I love NBA 2K series. Outside of their monetization practices, my problem with them is they try and sell you a new one every year. I'd rather buy a yearly subscription to your game for $20 a year than you want me to shell out $60 every year. So, and then Call of Duty, granted they give you some decent content with the season pass, you're still paying $40 for it. You're paying $100 out the door to play the game for the next year. So I just
Okay.
and that too, and no single player this year. I mean, it's still. I think the value's still there. The value's there if you like playing all the modes. The problem for a lot of people is that there was people that bought the game just for the campaign that would never touch like zombies, multiplayer, none of it. So I think the biggest part right now is the campaign's missing, and luckily us three, we like online modes, we like different online modes, we like different games, so we're the type of guys that as long as we're playing with our friends, we could pretty much play anything.
I heard that the zombies mode got buffed to such an extent that it might as well be campaign.
I would be okay with that. Like if they're like the old Alcatraz map and shit like that. And
no, but I heard like the story. Like we all know that zombies has a storyline, but it's really it's like second fiddle to the regular because it's it's just the zombie mode. But I heard that they're actually turning the zombie mode into like the legitimate story of Black Ops this time. So it's going to be a lot more.
Honestly, I've dug as best as I can. I haven't been able to find anything on zombie mode at all. Besides
there's
that,
been trailers. There's been story trailers. You can watch them.
Well, yeah, but I aside from trailers, I want to read the details. Like I've read the details about Blackout and multiplayer, but I haven't found anything to read on zombie mode. So I think they're intentionally keeping that close to the chest because they don't want people to know anything about it, which makes me kind of excited. If it is truly their campaign this time, that's heavy because I love zombies.
I was happy to hear that they took out wall running and like crazy double jumping and all this crap.
Yep.
Because, I mean, we're all getting older and we're not getting any faster on the reflexes. And I could not handle, what was it, Warfighter or whatever. Those where they were basically jumping like kind of like Fortnite. They're just jumping all over the place, bunny hopping everywhere.
You're confusing me. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare came out in 2006 or came out in 2014. The last game according to this came out 2016. That was Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, no, but there was one called Advanced Warfighter. I mean,
I think that was the Ghost Recon back in the day.
Yeah, there was one in space. What was that one called?
That was Infinite Warfare.
Space. No.
Yeah, yes, isn't that the one that got all the downvotes on YouTube? That had like millions of downvotes and barely any likes.
Yeah, that was
One of them had
Kevin
Spacey in it, remember?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey was the celebrity to promote during those almost realistic lifelike commercials.
Regrets.
That was Infinite Warfare.
Regrets.
But
mistakes were made.
But there hasn't been a Call of Duty game since 2016, so this has broken their annual pattern.
All right, let me see here.
Sorry, we apologize to anybody in the chat or watching the stream. We're just trying to figure this out. We should have done this beforehand, guys, but we'll do it next time.
So yeah, it looks like the last couple of Call of Duty games were World War II, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts. We forgot about Ghosts.
Wasn't there Ghosts 2 or no?
No, but the last one that we all played together was Black Ops 3. So we skipped World War II, we skipped Infinite Warfare, and I think we skipped Ghosts too. Yeah. So Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 were the ones that we actually played together.
I played Ghosts. I thought one of us played Ghosts together. For a very short time.
Nope, I have not only Call of Duty games.
I don't think I own Ghosts.
Huh.
Call of Duty World War II is what came out last year. That fills the gap.
Right.
Oh, Spike.
Yeah.
I have gotten a private message that says we're still showing up as Ark and not Talk Show.
Okay.
I don't know if that's checkable.
What do you mean?
For me, it's showing as Talk Show.
Okay, no problem.
That person might not have refreshed her page, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, for me, it shows talk shows and podcasts.
Oh, hey, look, we got someone in the chat. Miss Ninja. Hi, guys. Hey, Miss Ninja. Happy to see you back again. Hope you're doing well. Always feel free to contribute if you have an opinion on anything.
So I'm really excited. I'm gonna get COD for sure this year. I think this is the comeback year for them. It's Treyarch, and out of all the studios making the CODs, Treyarch is my favorite.
Currently, yes. Oh man. Another thing. I know we said we don't like the jumpy flippy shit, but boy oh boy did I enjoy Titanfall 2.
Yeah, but that was different because most of the time you're in a gigantic robot, so it's not that
it's
bad.
awesome and it makes you feel so badass. Man, that game just has all the right feels.
You know what really makes you feel badass? Eating healthy and staying fit. Unlike Spike right here.
Hey, quit body shaming me.
Hey, no body shaming.
This is how I choose to be. Yeah, but COD is gonna be man. I think when that blackout hits, you're gonna see PUBG go, and then you're gonna see Fortnite numbers take a hit. You're gonna see all those other battle royales.
Wait. Can I describe what Fortnite's gonna sound like? If PUBG sounds like H1Z1's gonna be, and then Fortnite's gonna sound.
Yeah.
Fortnite will survive, like for sure, but it will take a slight hit.
I mean, that's something we're talking about. Yeah, I really think a lot of these games, especially, I think PUBG, because they charge for their game, one of two things is going to happen. They're going to make their game free to play real quick,
Right?
Or they better if they want to survive.
Or they are gone. Blue Balls Entertainment, I know 10 cents backing them. 10 cents might end up shutting them down, because the best thing they have going for them Battle Royale wise would be Rings of Elysium, because at least it has a unique element here and there. But yeah, as far as
that's not coming to console though, is it?
no, rumor that it might once they iron everything out, but no real official word yet. But yeah, PUBG is gonna be just
PUBG.
Oh, they're just gonna be toast once Call of Duty's blackout mode comes out. And like you said, I think Fortnite and H1Z1 will survive just based off the fact that they're free. I think Fortnite will survive based off the fact it looks like something little kids want to play, which, you know, is okay. It's even though I still don't condone kids playing shooters until they're mature enough for it, I think at least it's better for them to be shooting each other's cartoon characters than to be bloodying up and shooting the heads off of each other's in a more realistic fashion. So, although it's free to play, so it's hard to argue, but I think Fortnite's microtransactions are fucking egregious. But
here's my projection.
Just me.
Here's my projection. For the rest of the year, Fortnite's going to take a major hit when they see the end of the year numbers come in. And I don't know how the beginning of 2018 will be, or through the summer. But this time next year, Fortnite will no longer be relevant as it is now.
Oh, look at this.
It will still be a thing, but it will not be relevant as it is now.
Oh, the gauntlet, the challenge. Are we throwing down bets on that?
Fortnite is not going anywhere.
Yep.
Fortnite's
over
not
80
leaving.
million records sold.
It won't die.
And it appeals to 10 or 11-year-olds.
Right now, a year from right now, it's going to be like, hey, is Fortnite still a thing? Because we will not hear about anything anymore. It'll become so regular that no one talks about it, because it just becomes a daily thing.
Quick note here, guys. Miss Ninja says, I enjoy listening to the different topics in the podcast, but I am not much of a COD gal. I'll still to RPG. So she likes RPGs, but not much for the Call of Duty. So
okay, Fable 4 is in development, so there you go. Moving on.
Hey, well, that's another thing too. There's people that there's a small minority that just don't even play shooters. So.
No, I get what you mean.
Thank you, Miss
Do I look like a
Ninja.
gnome? Do I look like a gnome?
Yes, you do. You look like an angry gnome.
Thank you, Miss Ninja, for participating in the chat. We always appreciate it.
I miss RPGs too. I really do. I miss RPGs. That's what got me into video games, was playing RPGs. And there just hasn't been any good RPGs on console in a very long time besides Skyrim.
Witcher.
I don't like Witcher. I'm not into that, John. I'm not into that realm of fantasy. I know it's very similar to other ones, but Witcher just doesn't do it.
Kingdom Come, Deliverance. If you like Skyrim, Kingdom Come is basically a little bit more simulated without the fancy flash of magic attacks. It's very politically charged. It's very...
Kingdom Come.
What? Oh, man. Highball, if you lived near me, I would just hand you the game. And
I'm a nerd, and I'm a big comic nerd, so the only thing I think of Kingdom Come is DC's Kingdom Come, so I'm sorry if that does not register in my brain.
Look it up. I really think it's a game that you would need to give it a chance, but I think it's a game that you would really get into.
Oh, shnikes, it came out in February.
It actually sold really well. I own it. Oh man, that's something I got to get back into. I started playing it, but then I started playing some other games, and it just ended up in the back catalog. But I'm actually still excited to go back to it.
I'm looking at the cover art of the game with the knight on his knees, holding on to the hilt of his sword as it's pierced into the ground. I just look at it, I go like, oh, he lost his helmet.
Wow.
Anybody in chat actually want to throw out some suggestions of games they would like to see on the channel for Deep Roots Games? Because we have a large library, but we want to see what you guys would like to see us play. So, if you got an opinion, throw it in the chat.
Yeah, if you've watched us before, you know we play some H1Z1, a little bit of Fortnite, we play a little bit of Destiny, and we might end up throwing a little bit of Warframe in there. But if there's anything you guys want to see, go ahead, throw it out there. If there's
indie games. And don't forget, after we just talked about, we will be playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 eventually before,
yeah.
We will be playing COD.
And if y'all want to see some more indie titles, I think Roots, you got things like Dragon Quest Builders and all that kind of games. So,
yes, I am actually. Yes, I will be doing Dragon Quest Builders probably in the next coming week. Kingdom Come Deliverance will make a return. The Witcher 3 will make a return, and Vikings. You might see Vikings come up on the channel tomorrow.
I would personally like to see you complete Horizon on the stream if you want to do that.
Yeah, there's a big one.
Okay.
That's gonna be a hard one for him to do, Spike. That's like a horse pill to him.
Well, I'll tune in to watch that.
Spike told me. He said, "Hey, look, last stream he said you got to get over this one hump in the middle." So hopefully after I get over that one hump, which is exactly where I'm at, because when I described it, he was like, that's the one. So hopefully when I get over that, man, that first shot really missed. But
no, it didn't. No, it didn't.
On my screen, it's to the right of my head, or to the left. But yeah, I could do
chopsticks on your head.
I could do Horizon tomorrow as well. So I'll go ahead and.
Ooh, what's Horizon? I don't know what Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Aloy, which is like what would their tribe be considered? Are they
cyber future, yeah, I don't know what to call it, but it's a good game.
All right, so I'll try and fire back up, but tomorrow we'll definitely see some Vikings.
Highly anticipated for something else. Roots might be playing in the near future. For all you bronies out there, he'll be playing My Little Pony: Venture into Nowhere.
Sorry, but no, that's not gonna happen.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating.
For all you that don't know what Vikings is basically like Diablo 3. It has a couple mechanics to it that are pretty cool that make you have to move your ass and not stand around. So you kind of have to pick and choose your fights and hustle through the map. And there's bosses, and also on top of that, in the hub area for your characters, you have to build up your hub area. You have to build up your town. So there's a little bit more to it than there was to Diablo, which I'm excited to get back into. I've been wanting to get back into for a while now. So you'll end up seeing that tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen. This has been episode 3 of the Name This podcast.
Oh wait, we didn't even ask, Spike. Anybody who watches this video, even if you see it on YouTube after we upload it to the YouTube, please suggest a name for the podcast, and we will talk about it when we see it. We will look at the comments, and we will talk about them in the next podcast and see if we can decide on a viewer-submitted name for our podcast.
Yeah, so totally throw us some suggestions.
Like I throw these spears at them all day.
Oh boy, someone's going spear crazy here. And don't forget to give us a follow if you enjoy our podcast. It's Saturday nights, somewhere around the 9:30 mark. We like to go for half hour to an hour in between there. And we also stream games throughout the week. Like we just said, you can watch us all week. We'll be here normally around 8:30 at nights when we get together as a group. Sometimes myself, Deep Roots, I'll get on and just start streaming some single player stuff. So go ahead and give us a check out, follow, and when we get to 50, you can start subscribing.
All right.
Where did Highball go? He's not here for the outro.
I died.
All right then.
Yep.
Bye.
Hopefully next time, next podcast, I'll be a little skinnier. I'm gonna work out.
I'm Walter White and Ark. I'm Walter White and Ark.
Oh no! God, gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta.
All right, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Y'all come back now, you hear? Good night.
Oh, Deep Roots out. Goodbye.
Peace.